are discussing. In last class, I completed application of steady flow energy equation for nozzle, then diffuser is completed. Okay. Diffuser is also completed. Boiler is completed, I think, right? So now today we need to discuss about turbine. I think boiler is also completed, right? In last class, the application of SFFEE for boiler. Okay, as we know, boiler is a steam generator. It takes input as water and heat, then it converts the water into the steam. Okay, so we derived steady flow energy equation for boiler, and finally we got Q equal to M into H2 minus H1. What does it mean? The heat energy supplied to the system is used to increase the enthalpy. The heat we are adding is used to increase the enthalpy. Then the water is converted into the steam. So that is the boiler. Now we will discuss about turbine, right? So how many of you diploma people, I think you might know, but regular people, what is turbine? What is
So
turbine?
it is used to generate electricity with the
Very
help
good.
of water flow.
Right. It is a device which is used to generate the power. Right. Not only water. If it is hydraulic turbine, water. If it is a gas turbine, gas. If it is a steam turbine, steam. We have different types of turbines. Depends upon the input we are giving. If the input to the turbine is water, then we used to call it as the hydraulic turbine. Okay. So hydraulic turbine means the input water energy is converted into the our electrical energy or mechanical energy. Right. If the, let us say I'm using steam, then we can call those turbines are steam turbines. The steam is the input to the turbine. If gas, the combustible gases are the input to the turbine, then we can call it as gas turbine. In rockets, we are using gas turbines only. Okay, right. So these hydraulic and steam turbines we are using mainly for the power generation. So this gas turbine we are using in aviation. Okay, right. So basically the input to the turbine is the high pressure high temperature gas. If it is a steam. Okay, now you can see from inlet to the outlet. Now this is the inlet of the turbine and this is the outlet of the turbine. So what happens to the diameter or area from inlet to the outlet of the turbine? This is D inlet, diameter at inlet. Now this is the diameter at outlet. So what happens to the diameter of the passage from inlet to outlet in case of turbine? It is increasing. Yes or no, right? The area is increasing. Once the area is increasing, what happens to the velocity?
Decrease.
Decreases, right now, right? So during this passage, let us say here we have inside that we have passages, right? Blade will be there inside that, rotor will be there, right? So when the high pressure high temperature, let us say this is steam, when high pressure high temperature steam is going to expand over the blades of the turbine, this is the shaft, over that we have the blades. When it is going to expand over the blades of the turbine, what will happen? The enthalpy drop of the steam is going to take place. Means the quality of the steam is going to decrease. Let us say it is, let us say steam in the form of superheated steam is there, right? Now it may come out, let us say normal steam with wet content. Wet steam is coming out from the turbine. Means what happens from superheated steam to the wet steam? The enthalpy is going to decrease. The enthalpy means the quality of the steam is going to decrease. Means that wet steam means it may have partly vapor content also. Okay, that working is not our concern, right? Now what happens to the properties of the fluid? Okay, now once the steam is expand over the blades of the turbine, these blades are mounted over the shaft, thereby this shaft will rotate. Once this shaft rotate, there is a generator or alternator which is coupled to the same shaft of the turbine. This is the coupling, right? So once the turbine shaft rotates, automatically the alternator shaft also will rotate because both are in line. Okay, thereby we will get the electricity. So this is general working of the turbine, right? Now we will see our application of steady flow energy equation. Okay, let us assume the turbine is horizontal, therefore inlet and outlet are, let us say, at the same level. Then I can say Z1 is equals to Z2. These are our assumptions only. These are our assumptions only. What is the basic equation of your steady flow energy equation? M into H1 V1 square by 2 GZ1 plus heat addition, capital Q, is equals to M into enthalpy at outlet plus kinetic energy at outlet, kinetic head, datum head plus work done by the turbine, right? So we are assuming the turbine is horizontal. Let us say Z1 is equal to Z2. So these two terms will be cancelled. I am assuming the turbine is insulated. Therefore, Q is equals to 0. Turbine is insulated. Okay, Q is equals to 0. Let us assume there are not much change in the velocity of the steam or fluid or gas passing through the turbine. When there is no much change in the velocity, V1 is equals to V2. Then you left with M into H1 is equals to M into H2 plus WS. Right now, work done. So W is equals to M into H1 minus H2. Therefore, what happens to the enthalpy? Enthalpy is decreasing from inlet to the outlet. Yes or no? H1 is greater than H2. What does it mean? Enthalpy is decreasing. Means the work is done by the expense of the enthalpy. When the steam is passing through the turbine, the enthalpy drop is going to take place. You should remember enthalpy drop. Enthalpy drop. Is it is clear, turbine? Any doubt you can ask me, or else I'll go to next. Just
So we'll get work negative.
see,
We'll get
turbine, listen, turbine is work producing device. Work done by the system is positive. I got positive only because H1 is greater than H2. When H1 is greater than H2, H1 minus H2 will become positive. Agree?
yes, sir.
Right. So W is positive because work is done by the system. Because turbine is a work producing device. Okay, now next opposite to this, then we will discuss compressor. Right. Now, if you see the cross section of the compressor from inlet to the outlet, the diameter is inlet diameter is more than outlet diameter. Diameter is decreasing. Yes or no, right? Diameter is decreasing. Now, as we know, compressor, it is a device which is used to increase the pressure of the fluid, whatever that may be, either air or any fluid. Okay. So therefore, in order to do the compression, so usually compressor is work consuming device because it has to do work against the gravity or friction or resistance, right? So when the fluid is compressed, there will be resistance. For that, we need to supply the power. That's why you're using electrical motor. Electrical motor is our prime mover. This is our prime mover. So with help of this, we are driving the compressor. Your compressor shaft is coupled to the electric motor shaft. Thereby, if you switch on this electric motor, then this shaft will rotate and automatically the compressor shaft will also rotate because it is coupled to the motor shaft. Okay. Right. So therefore, in order to drive the compressor, we need to give the work. So means work added to the system. Work added to the system is positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative. Always compression process. Remember, compression process requires work to be supplied, whereas expansion process will always produce the work. Okay. Right. Let us assume datum or same level Z1 is equals to Z2. Okay. Z1 equal to Z2. We are assuming that inlet and outlet are the same condition. If this is work is done on the system by electric motor, therefore W is negative according to sign convention. Let us say the compressor is perfectly insulated. Therefore, yeah, what will happen? Let us, for example, you take air compressor. What is the purpose of air compressor?
To compress air.
To compress air, right? No? Right. Can you see the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
Right. Let us assume this is the tank. Here I have delivery valve, and here on pressure gauge is mounted. This is P. Okay. So the maximum capacity I can store is 10 bar. So this is my compressor. Compressor is again based on reciprocating motion. The outlet is stored here, and it takes atmospheric air. This is air enters right at 1 bar, and it compresses to more than 1 bar, greater than 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar. Like that, we are storing the air. Now tell me, what is the now inlet condition? The atmospheric air 1 bar and 27 degrees centigrade. Now, can you tell me what is the temperature of air leaving the compressor at this instant of time? Anyone? Because it is compressed, right? This, let us say this is my air. This air is compressed and I am storing in the tank. I'm storing this air in the tank, right? Now, what is the temperature of air? Anyhow, pressure is increased. What is the temperature of air at this instant of time?
Decreases.
Decreases.
Increases.
If you compress, what happens to the resistance? Resistance is
Temperature
more.
increases.
Temperature increases, right? Right. So temperature increases automatically, right? If you compress, right? We are doing work against the friction, therefore automatically temperature will increase. Let us assume the temperature is raised to 40 degrees centigrade. Okay. Now for 2 bar, if you keep on increasing the pressure, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar, the temperature will keep on increasing. Let us assume the temperature is around 60 degrees centigrade. Yes or no? After, at the end of the compression, the temperature is 60 degrees centigrade. Now, what is present surrounding this tank? What is this one?
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere. What is the temperature? Atmosphere at a temperature of 27 degrees
27.
centigrade, right? So, what is the property of the heat?
From
Always
low
heat,
temperature,
Always
high,
heat transfer from
high temperature
high
to the
temperature,
body at
low
high
temperature.
temperature to the
to cold body.
body at lower
Low temperature.
temperature. Lower temperature. Right. So during, yeah, this is my aim of this one. Okay, now this one you can, how the temperature is going to flow means because of the compression, the fluid temperature is increases and surrounding temperature is atmospheric temperature. Therefore, always it always reject the heat to the surrounding. Now during this process, what will happen? The air is the what is the constituents of air? Can anyone tell me what presents inside the air?
Water
Hydrogen,
vapor,
water, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, everything
nitrogen
will be there. Yes,
oxidation.
right? So these are the some of the constituents of the air, right? So now when it is going to cool, what will happen? It will get condensed. Yes or no? It will get condensed and some water droplets also formed during this process. During heat exchange process, water droplets will be formed, right? So if you observe outside, if anyone is really interested, how many of you see the air compressor tank? Air compressor tank. How many of you are familiar with the air compressor tank?
Yes, sir.
Right. So what is basically it is used to daily life to inflate the tires. Yes, right? The air compressor is used to inflate the tires. To inflate the tires, right? So therefore, during the compression, during the condensation process, the water droplets will be formed, and compared with the air, the water is having higher density. Right now, the water is having higher density. Therefore, water is settled at the bottom inside the tank. And if you observe, there will be one more small wall will be there at the bottom. Right. So what is the use of this wall? Because let us say today work is completed and tomorrow we are going to start the work fresh. Right. At the time you need to operate this wall. At the time you need to operate the bottom wall. It is the bottommost point. This one, right? Means whatever the water formed in the previous day due to the condensation, that water will be settled at the bottom, and if you open this wall, this water will escape outside the tank. Means if water present, what are the problems we have? Main problem is corrosion is the main problem. Corrosion, right? Now rust formation. Okay. So that is the reason where this wall will be provided. Okay, this is none of our business. Right. My thing is here always the high temperature to the lower temperature heat will be flowed. Okay, right. So therefore heat is lost right now. Heat lost to the surrounding. Therefore, not this one. Heat is lost to the surrounding, therefore Q is equals to negative. Clear this one? Why Q is negative?
Heat is rejected from the system.
Right now, because outside the temperature is atmosphere, inside the system the temperature is more than the atmosphere. Okay, right. Under these conditions, now this is basically our steady flow energy equation. So I can eliminate Z1, Z2 and Q also. Therefore, M into H1 V1 square and third term will be 0. Okay, the Q is negative. Earlier we used to have, we have plus symbol here. Yes or no? Plus heat supplied plus work done generally. Agree? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Normal
Yes,
steady flow
sir.
energy equation plus Q plus W. But in compressor, heat is lost to the surrounding. That's why Q is negative. And Compressor is work consuming device. We are supplying the work from the external source. Therefore, work done on the system is negative. That is the reason I added both negative. Clear? Why negative symbol here?
Yes, sir.
Right now. Now this is the WS can be written as like this, because if you take this left side, then Q will be positive. Okay. Let us assume there are not change in the velocity. Let us say velocity is almost constant. V1, V2 can be neglected again. This is our assumption only. By assuming V1 is almost equal to V2, I can cancel these velocity terms also. Then I left with WS is equals to M into H2 minus H1 plus Q. Right now, M into H2 minus H1 plus Q. Again, we are assuming it is insulated. Let us say there is no heat loss to the surrounding. Therefore, Q is also 0. In the absence of Q, then I can write W equal to M into H2 minus H1. WS. This is capital W, small w. So per kilojoules per kg means specific term, specific work it is. Right, H2 minus H1. Here H2 is greater than H1 means WS is negative here because this is work is done on the system. Clear? Compressor? Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. Next problem. A nozzle is a device for increasing the velocity of the steady flow stream. Okay. At the inlet, the properties are enthalpy. 1 second. Okay, right. So enthalpy at inlet, what is this one? Kilojoules per kg. Capital H1 or small h1? I want answer. Enthalpy in kilojoules per kg. This is specific enthalpy or
Small
normal
h.
enthalpy?
Small h. Sorry,
Small
capital H1. Capital H.
See, generally enthalpy.
Is specific enthalpy, sir.
Yeah.
Because we are dividing by mass.
Okay, right. Generally enthalpy kilojoules. Okay, enthalpy will be in kilojoules, but it is in kilojoules per kg. Therefore, it is specific enthalpy. Enthalpy is in kilojoule. Specific enthalpy is in kilojoules. Means H1 is given. Which color will look good here in this one? Which is visible? Black. Black. White is not available here.
It is available, sir,
Yellow.
at the left corner.
Black only, sir. Yeah.
Only black. Okay, okay, right, right. Okay, right. Okay, H1 is given 2850 kilojoules per kg and velocity at inlet V1 is equals to 50 meters per second and area at inlet A1 is equals to 0.1 meter square and specific volume small V1 0.18 meter cube per kg. These are the properties at inlet. At the discharge means that is at the outlet, H2 is equals to 2650 kilojoules per kg. Then specific volume V2 is equals to small v2 0.49 meter cube per kg. This is the data given. Make calculation for the velocity of the fluid at the exit. That is V2 he is asking and mass flow rate M dot and exit area A2. These three is the required. Clear? Is the question is clear? And given that the nozzle is horizontal, what is the meaning of nozzle is horizontal? Anyone? Z1 is equals to Z2 because in the problem he mentioned nozzle is horizontal and there is negligible heat lost from it. So heat loss negligible means Q is equals to 0. These two are the conditions given. So generally steady flow energy equation will be M into H1 plus V1 square by 2 plus GZ1 plus Q is equals to M into H2 plus V2 square by 2 plus GZ2 plus W. Right? In this one, now Z1 and Z2 can be cancelled because he given that nozzle is in the horizontal direction and no heat loss, Q is also 0. In the absence of this, the equation is reduced to M into H1 plus V1 square by 2 is equals to M into H2 plus V2 square by 2 plus W. Right? If you do now, what is required? Velocity at the steam at the outlet, right? Anyhow, it is specific terms are given. M can be removed, and this will become small ws. So is H1 is known to you?
Yes, sir.
Right. H1 is known. V1 is given 50 meters per second.
Yes.
H2 is given. Right. So
Yes.
is there any moving parts in the nozzle?
No, constant.
No. In the absence of moving parts, what is W? Zero. Yes or no, right? There are no moving parts. Therefore, what is the unknown here? Again, our equation is H1 plus V1 square by 2 is equals to H2 plus V2 square by 2. This is the unknown. From this, we can calculate V2. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. So only thing is you should balance the units, right? Again, H1, H2 are in kilojoules per kg. Listen carefully. H1, H2 are in kilojoules per kg, but V1 is in meters per second. You need to convert this kilojoule. Kilojoule is not the SI unit. Joules per kg is the SI unit. Remember, the SI unit for enthalpy is joules per kg. Therefore, this value will be 2850 into 10 power 3 joules per kg. Got it? You should not take directly in terms of kilojoules. First, you should convert into joules per kg before making use of that value. Am I clear? Yes.
Joules per kg means
Yes, sir.
specific enthalpy, na, sir?
Yeah, the specific enthalpy. That's why I'm considering it directly small h1.
Yes.
Small h1. Okay. So first bit is over. First
Sir,
bit is over. Tell me.
Always we should consider specific enthalpy only, sir.
That's all depends upon the input conditions. Suppose let us say enthalpy 2850 kilojoule is given. Then that will become capital H1. It all depends upon the units he has given. Kilojoules or kilojoules per kg. If it is kilojoule, that is normal enthalpy. It is kilojoules per kg, that is specific enthalpy. Am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. It is mass flow rate. Second bit is mass flow rate. Mass flow rate, how to calculate? M equal to area velocity by specific volume. Area velocity by specific volume. Balance the units. Area units are in meters square. Velocity units are in meters per second. And specific volume. Specific volume means volume per mass. Right now? Meter cube per kg. Then what are the units you left with? Meter cube will be cancelled. Then you will get kg per second. Correct. Our formula is correct. Like that also you can check. So this is the mass flow rate. I can write A1 V1 by small v1 is also equal to A2 V2 by small v2. Right? Area at inlet is given. Velocity at inlet is given. Specific volume at inlet is given. So A1 V1 V1. You can calculate mass flow rate by using this equation. Is it clear? Please answer.
Yes.
Right. Now,
Yes, sir.
finally, he is asking area at exit. Right. For that, we are using this equation only. So I'm rewriting that equation. A1 V1 by small v1 is equals to A2 V2 by small v2. What is continuity equation? According to continuity equation, mass flow rate is always constant. Mass flow at inlet should be equal to mass flow at the outlet. That thing, yeah, that's what the mass is discharge. The discharge is always constant. So area 1 is known, V1 is known, specific volume at inlet is known, and specific volume at outlet is also given. And just now we calculated exit velocity. Agree? Where is exit velocity? Here. By using this formula, we calculated exit velocity, and the unknown is What is unknown here?
A2.
A2. You can calculate from this equation. That is here. Just go through this. First, he calculated velocity. Then, by using continuity equation, mass flow rate is calculated. Then, by using the same mass flow rate only, exit area is calculated. Very, very, very important. Compulsory you will get problem on steady flow energy equation. That may be nozzle or turbine or pump, whatever it may be.
Sir.
Just application.
Sir, sir.
Can I move to next problem?
Sir.
Sir, first page, sir, once.
First page, okay. Okay.
Sir. Sir.
Tell me.
Sir, in practical, continuity equation is possible or not, sir?
In practical, continuity equation, yeah, continuity equation is possible, but due to the friction,
Yes.
due to the friction, what will happen? Some losses are there. That's why small difference will be there.
Yes.
Okay, na?
Yes.
Okay, right. Who is that guy?
Tarun.
Diploma.
Yes, sir.
Right. Okay. Good. Next. Can I move to next slide?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, next problem. So in the steady flow process, the flows through the machine at the rate of 15 kg per minute. What is mass flow rate is given? So mass flow rate is 15 kg per minute directly. So m star is given 15 kg per minute, but convert into second. So 15 divided by 60 kg per second. Mass flow rate is given. So that is equal to AV by small v, area velocity by specific volume. Between entrance and exit of the machine, the following data is given. Okay. Inlet velocity V1 is given. Pressure P1 is given. Specific volume small v1. In the same outlet condition, velocity V2, pressure P2 and specific volume V2. Again, before proceeding this problem, first check the units. All units should be in SI. Velocity in meters per second, it's good. Need not to worry about much with the velocity. Right now, it's correct only. But pressure, what is the SI unit for pressure? SI unit for the pressure.
Newton per meter.
Yeah, SI unit is the Newton per meter square. Right now, as we know, 1 bar is equals to 1 into 10 power 5 Pascal, and that is also equivalent to 1 into 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. Okay, so therefore the pressure should be converted 100 into kilo is 10 power 3 and 1 Pascal is nothing but 1 Newton per meter square. Otherwise, this is okay. Now this is okay, and this is also okay. Similarly, you need to convert this 700 kilopascal, 700 into 10 power 3 Newton per meter square. Now all units are in SI. Okay. Now next, what is the other data given? The working fluid leaves the machine with an internal energy 160 kilojoules per kg greater than that at inlet, means difference of internal energy U2 minus U1. But if you see the units are per kg, therefore small U2 minus small U1, that is equals to 160. Again, I don't want kilojoule, I want only joule, because joule is the SI unit. 160 into 10 power 3 joules per kg during the entrance, and during the process 7200 kilojoules per minute of heat is lost to the surrounding. Heat lost to the surrounding is negative, therefore Q again it is per it's not per kg, right? So therefore it is capital Q. So capital Q is equals to 7200 it is kilojoules per minute, therefore divided by 60 into 10 power 3 joules per second. This is SI unit. So per minute to second, you should multiply minute with 60 and kilojoules to joule 10 power 3. Assuming entrance and exit pipes are at the same level, Z1 is equals to Z2. Calculate shaft work and ratio of inlet pipe diameter to the outlet pipe diameter. He is asking WS and D1 by D2. Is the data is clear? Input data? Is the question is clear or not?
Yes, sir.
right now.
Yes, sir.
So mass flow rate is given. Okay. So in again mass flow rate, velocity and specific volumes are there at inlet and outlet. You can see this is the mass flow rate equation. The unknowns are only A1 and A2. From this I can write A1 by A2 is equals to V2 by V1, that is the velocity, into small u V1 by small V2, that is the specific volume. What is A1? Area at inlet, area at outlet. A1 is nothing but pi by 4 d square, d1 square, and A2 is pi by 4 d2 square. Right, pi by 4 will be cancelled, and this is the, if you all values are there, we can substitute. Therefore d1 square by d2 square value you will get something, and d1 by d2, what you need to do, square root of that value, you will get the answer. Clear? Ratio of diameters are completed. Next is asking work run, right? No. So this is the basic steady flow energy equation we have. No doubt in this, we all familiar. U1 plus P1 V1. What is U1 plus H1 is replaced. H1 is how to define, because in this problem he is discussed about internal energy. He specified that internal energy leaving the system. Internal energy leaving the system is 160 kilojoules per kg greater than the inlet, right? U2 minus U1 value is given. That's why the enthalpy H is written as U plus PV. Definition of enthalpy is sum of internal energy and product of pressure and volume. That's what V1 square by 2 GZ1 plus Q, and U2 P2 V2, same formula. This is a steady flow energy equation, and given condition that Z1 is equals to Z2. That is the only condition is given, and he mentioned that heat is lost to the surrounding. Therefore Q is negative. Q is negative, right? I think U1 is there with us, means U1 is not there directly. U2 minus U1 value is there. You can take this U1 to the right side. Therefore it will become U2 minus U1. I can substitute that value, and P1 value is given, pressure at inlet, specific volume at inlet is given, right? And V1's velocity at inlet is given, and Z1 is not there, can be eliminated. Z2 is also eliminated. And what is unknown here? U2 is known, P2, V2, then WS is the only unknown. You have all the data with you. Just substitute the data, you will get the answer. Only thing is units you need to take care. We already converted kilojoules to joule. Just go through the problem once. All the values are there. Only thing is the balancing the units and substitute thing. So you got W is negative. What is the meaning of W is negative? Work is done on the system. Work is done on the system because it is a compressor or pump. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, last problem. A steam turbine operates under steady flow conditions. Turbine 1, this is turbine is the work producing device receiving steam at the following conditions. Okay, inlet pressure is given, bar is given, right? So how to convert 15 into 1 bar is 10 power 5 Newton per meter square. That's it. This is the SI unit. And internal energy U1 is given, P1 is given. It is kilojoules per kg, small U1. Specific volume small V1, and velocity capital V1. Inlet condition H is, sorry, what are the things given? Pressure is given, P1, U1, small V1 and capital V1. Small V1 is the specific volume. And the exhaust conditions, P2 is given, convert this bar into Newton per meter square. U2 is also given, internal energy. Specific volume, small V2 is also given, and velocity. Means you have 4 data at inlet and outlet. The intake is 3 meters above the exhaust. What is the meaning? Z1 minus Z2 is 3 meters. Agree? Yes or no? Or I can say Z1 is equals to 3, Z2 is equals to 0. The intake is 3 meters. You can see the intake is 3 meters above the exhaust. Inlet is higher than outlet. Therefore, Z1 is equal to 3 if Z2 equal to 0. Or directly Z1 minus Z2 I can substitute 3 meters. 3 meter is the SI unit, and the turbine develops 35 kilowatt. This is nothing but work done. Kilowatt 35, kilo means 10 power 3, watt is joules per second. Joule per second is the SI unit again. Kilojoules per second is kilowatt, but I want only joules per second. Therefore 10 power 3 I take outside. This is SI unit, that is WS is given, right? And heat loss over the surface of the turbine is 20 kilojoules per second. This is minus because this should be negative because it is lost to the surroundings. Determine the steam flow rate through the turbine. Okay, right. If you see in the steady flow energy equation, all the data is with you. Only thing is WS here. Here power is given. Okay. So how to get the power? See, power is equals to mass into work done. Mass into work done. So what you need to do from this equation, first calculate. This is the power. It's not work done. It is in joule. Power is in joules per second. What is power? Rate of doing work. Rate means with respect to time. So in this equation, the work is unknown. Work you calculate first. Once you know work, then power can be calculated by multiplying with mass flow rate. So mass flow rate is given or not? Check it. Mass flow rate through the turbine. Yeah, M is the steam flow rate. That is required, I think. Steam flow rate through the turbine is asking. That is the mass is required. So that mass only we calculated. Power is given. Work done we calculated. M is the unknown we calculated, right? So with this steady flow energy equations problems are completed. Any doubts you can ask. Okay.